So, in this video, we're going to talk about the KPIs. As I said, KPIs are numbers that measure something. For example, the score from the perfect product checklist measures product quality. The score of the CLTV measures how well and how highly valuable the client or the customer is to your business, how much does he pay the business over his lifespan. So it's measuring stuff. And as you also know, the success in the performance marketing field, if you get really, really good KPIs in your ads managers, depends on the business that you bring to the table and the market that is in desperate need for your solution. And so what a marketer does, what someone who creates an ad and launches an ad on social media does, is he creates a bridge and he connects these two poles. And so the 7 KPIs that we're going to talk about in this video are the KPIs that define the quality of this bridge that is built. There's a connection to be made, and there are different things I can measure about this connection between the business and the market. And the better these numbers are, the better and more stable and more scalable and less drop off this bridge, this connection basically has. And it's basically these 7 KPIs. If you have a look at this old graphic here, you can see like between in every of the 6 areas, we have 7 sub elements, and there are also the 7 most important KPIs. Obviously, here we already have a lot of KPIs, and for example, most of the KPIs that you see on the content and traffic spaces, this is exactly the KPIs that I'm going to talk about today. The business has other KPIs as well, like for example, the conversion, the CLTV, the ROAS, but here in this case, this really just defines these KPIs here in the middle. They define the quality of connection that is created through our ad between the target audience and the business that we create. So here you can see them. Previously, I would do one video for each KPI, and I would go in depth how to track it on your ads manager, how to set it up in Google Ads and Facebook Ads, in analytics. But this is not needed for you as someone who wants to understand the holistic framework first. This is, as soon as you're going into performance marketing and you make something like Facebook ads or Google ads or TikTok ads your profession, your skill, your high impact skill, then obviously you would want to go super deep into how you exactly track, how you exactly analyze these KPIs. Here I'm basically just telling to you what are the most important KPIs that measure this connection between your ad and the audience. And the first and most important ones are the outbound CTR, the outbound click rate, and the outbound CPC that emerge from this click rate. So this is traffic. This is a click through your ad that lands on a page. That's why we also call it CPV, which means cost per landing page view. And the higher your CTR is, your outbound CTR, the lower your CPC costs will be, your outbound CPC. And they are directly correlated. And the cost for the clicks is basically measured, calculated by the CPM costs multiplied with the outbound click rate. So the higher your click rate is, the better. The lower your click costs are, the better, as long as they deliver highly qualified clicks. You can see the exact KPIs for the best ranges in the KPI framework from the 6 bottlenecks, and this is the most important metric. Getting your click rates up, getting your click costs down. You cannot do clickbait and other stuff that improves your click rate because it will hurt your conversion rate later. if you make your ads more attractive, or you make them very like curiosity centered, then it might drive a lot of people to your landing page, but they don't convert there. So your conversion rate would fall very much. And so you are better off not doing any of these like crazy stuff, because it will hurt your conversion rate later. The third and the fourth KPI is basically an engagement metric. If you run Facebook ads and you look at the metric CTR all, this means they count everyone that engages with the ad is counted as a click, and is counted here as a CPC. There will be a cost associated with these clicks, deriving from your CPM costs. And what this basically does is, these are not outbound clicks. These are clicks that engage with your ad in terms of liking, commenting, sharing, looking in a video, clicking on an image, doing something with your ad. But this is not outbound. Outbound is this. This is the real traffic. This is the actual stuff that if you multiply it with your conversion rate will give you sales and conversions. This will not do it. Typically, these numbers are twice as high as your outbound CTR. So if 100 people engage with your ad, 50 will do an outbound click and land on your landing page. These metrics are very valuable for us, the two engagement metrics here. Click rate, engagement click rate, and cost per click, cost per engagement. This is extremely valuable to us if we want to know how well does our content, how well is it received by the audience? Do they even care? Do they engage with it? Do they comment something? Do they view the video? Because that is the first thing that we need to have in order to get outbound click rates, outbound stuff. Like, no one who just completely ignores your ads will arrive on your landing page. So these engagement metrics need to be up first. And then once this is done, I also get outbound clicks who will purchase my products later. Fifth metric is the CPM costs. This metric is basically responsible to drive all these costs here. On Facebook, you pay per 1,000 impressions. The costs, depending on your audiences, depending on your countries, depending on when you run your ads, will fall into like a range between, let's say, 5 and 50 euros CPM, which means on average you will pay 20 or 25 euros to reach 1,000 people. On YouTube, it might be much cheaper. On TikTok, it might be much cheaper. On every new emerging social media platform, it is always cheaper. On old saturated platforms like TV or magazine or billboard ads, it is way, way higher. And you have to pay more price to get the same amount of reach and eyeballs, because more and more businesses bid for these kind of placements. This whole framework and all these costs, the CPC here, the CPV here, the CPA, they are all calculated with a 20 euro CPM cost, because that is like a CPM that basically you can get on every platform, that you can get on YouTube, that you can get on Facebook, Instagram, on TikTok, sometimes even way cheaper. And this is how we end up with all these costs. So getting your CPM down means that you have cheaper reach, and you have the same, you have cheaper clicks and eventually cheaper CPA with the same conversion rate, with the same click rate as well. So if you have same click rate, fixed click rate and fixed conversion rate, bringing your CPM down means you get cheaper sales without changing anything, just by getting more people with the same amount of ad spend. And this is extremely valuable and extremely important to get the CPM costs as down as possible through, for example, achieving that your ad go viral, or that your ad have some certain percentage of viral growth, organic reach in them, and making your content engaging for the platform, valuable content for the platform itself, where the algorithm knows, nice, this is a piece of content that keeps people on the platform, where people have a strong, high retention rate, engagement rate. This is very important, brings your CPM down, gives you more reach for same cost. 6th metric is engagement. There are different metrics that you can use to compare and calculate how good is your engagement, how many likes you get per 1,000 views, how many people watch your videos, like for example, video view rates. You get these curves, like you might see, for example, on YouTube, because everyone is forced to watch your first 5 seconds in the in-stream ads, you almost have 100% of watch time in these first 5 seconds. And after that, they drop dramatically because most of the people skip this ad immediately. And from the amount of people that skip immediately, you can derive your retention rate from the videos. Also on Facebook, on Instagram, you have this view rate that is a really, really good indicator of how many people actually watch your ad. Do you have a good hook? Do you have a good retention rate? And all these metrics that you can look at basically give you a really good feel for how strong is the brand impression that you are right now delivering with your ads. Because if 10,000 people watched your whole video that was 3 minutes long, that's like a really, really high, really nice impression. And you can be sure that if you run retargeting to these 10,000 people, they will still have this long video in mind that they watched from you, and they will they will remember it, and they will become aware of it again, and you will basically build a brand impression with multiple touch points with these people if they constantly engage and watch your stuff. So this is very important to monitor. And the last metric here that I also always look at is individual actions, individual clicks, individual purchases, individual conversions. What does it mean? You could calculate your purchases, or you could calculate your individual purchases. You can calculate individual page views or absolute page views. And so this individual metric, which you can always see in Facebook Ads Manager, Google Ads Manager, it basically stands for individual people that have done some sort of action. Do you have 100 landing page views from 100 different people? Then you will also have 100 individual landing page views. If you have 100 landing page views from 75 individual landing page viewers, then this would mean that some of them, 25 of them, clicked twice on average. And obviously, it is way more important to get 100 different people to engage with your content, view your pages, and buy your product than having 10 different people watching all your ads all the time and clicking on your page 10 times. Like, you would still end up with 100 landing page views, but in one case, you have 100 individual people doing landing page views, and on the other side, you have 10 people that did, on average, 10 different landing page views in this 10 people group, which would be way worse because you only have 10 potential customers, not 100. So this individual metric, and I use it for clicks, I use it for video views rates, I use it for outbound clicks, landing page views, add to carts, checkout, purchases, everything. Because I want to track how many individual people am I reaching. That's also the difference between reach and impressions. So you can have 10,000 people, 10,000 impressions, but do you have 10,000 reach, or do you have only 1,000 reach? If you have 1,000 reach and 10,000 impressions, then this would mean you have a 10x frequency, and you're basically bombarding 1,000 people with ads constantly so much that there have been over 10,000 impressions made by these 1,000 people. So they have a high saturation already. They know your brand. They know your ads. They maybe even already swiping them away because you have ad burn potentially. While on the other hand, another campaign, for example, has 10,000 reach and 10,000 impressions, then you know, okay, this is like the first touch point that I made with these people. So these are all the metrics that I have a look at. Obviously, if we're going to go deeper into learning and mastering the skill of performance marketing, I'm definitely going to make way more in-depth videos about how I set my KPI settings on Facebook ads, on Google ads, on YouTube ads, on TikTok. What do I analyze? How do I get a feel for these numbers? How do I know which campaigns to cut and which to scale? And how does the whole skill of performance marketing work on each of these different platforms? That's not the place for this video here, because this video is about the holistic perspective of understanding the framework. And again, if you have a shitty product and a shitty brand, you can become the best performance marketer ever. You can know everything in the toolkit of you can know every trick to improve your Facebook ads performance. This won't work because the system logic is there, and the system says your system and your results can only be as good as your weakest bottleneck. And if you have a bad product or a bad brand or a bad CLTV, then you can do whatever you want with Facebook ads, it just won't work. So this is very, very important to understand. And once we have all this, then we can definitely go deeper into mastering a skill like Facebook ads, like Google ads, like growth hacking, like rapid testing, like data analysis or copywriting. But we need to get the whole holistic understanding first. So I'm very happy to basically follow through with everything that comes, which will be the 3 big and last pillars of traffic conversion and CLTV, starting with the 7 parts of traffic in the next video.